What is up, guys and gals? It's Thomas One here, and today we're gonna do multiple goof videos today. I just feel like I need to do that. So, anyways, without further ado, here is James Goes Buzz Buzz.
Trevor the traction engine was enjoying his work in the vicarage orchard. Birds were singing and apples were ripening on the trees. It was a lovely day.
Sorry, the quality's pretty bad.
"Hello, Trevor," said James. "You look as bright and cheerful as my red paint." "Oh, I am," replied Trevor. "What's that noise?" "It's the bees," laughed Trevor. "They're all in these boxy things called beehives. I'm taking them to the station. The vicar says his bees make good honey, and he's giving some of them to his friends." Just then, Boko, the diesel engine, hummed in.
Oop, one of the trucks was derailed. I don't know if you guys could tell.
"Don't make the bees angry. They might sting you." James didn't like being told he was stung by a diesel.
Sorry.
He buzzed away. "Goodbye, Trevor," called Boko, and set off to see Duck at the next station. Bill and Ben, the tank engine twins, were busy arranging cars, but they scampered off when they saw Boko. "I remember the
Duck's
first time
derailed.
I met those two," laughed Boko. "They nearly made my eyes pop out. Edward soon put a stop to their game."
Literally, Duck was derailed. Duck is still derailed. Literally, you have to pay attention to it.
"I sometimes call them the bees." "A good name," replied Boko. "They're terrors when they start buzzing around."
See, look, Duck is still derailed. Oh, maybe they fixed it. I can't tell.
"Are you afraid of bees? They're only insects after all, so don't let that buzzbox diesel tell you different." "His name is Boko, and he didn't. I wouldn't care if hundreds were swarming around. I'd just blow smoke and make them buzz off."
Buzz, buzz, buzz.
Buzz, retorted Duck. The next morning, James arrived at the station to collect his coaches. The passengers were excited and keen to get on board. The platform was crowded, and the porter was in a hurry.
It's not placed
"Mind your
right.
backs," he shouted. Then there was trouble. The beehive fell
As you can tell, that was foam and paper.
The station cleared like magic. James heard a familiar buzzing.
CGI at its finest.
So they buzzed around the fireman, hoping he'd mend their hive. But he didn't understand, nor did his driver. So the bees turned to James. His boiler was nice and warm. "Buzz off! Buzz off!" hissed James. One bee burnt his foot. "Ooh, ah, ah, ooh." The bee thought James had burned him on purpose. So it stung James right back on the nose. Whistled James. He had had enough. So had his fireman and driver. They didn't notice till too late that they had left all their coaches behind. They tried everything to get rid of the bees. First they spun on the turntable, but to no avail. They tried washing them off, but the bees clung
James is
hard to
derailed
James's
right
warm
there.
boiler. Then they tried smoking them off by going through a long tunnel, but still the bees wouldn't go away. "It's no good, James," said his driver. "We'll just have to go back to the orchard and fetch another hive." James's reply was drowned by the sound of buzzing. The vicar was waiting anxiously for James. When he arrived, the bees swarmed straight into their new home. "Come on, James," said his driver. "What you need now is a good hose down." Later that evening, James was resting in the shed when the vicar came to see him. "Thank you for saving my bees," he said. "It's a pity it's not Christmas. Then we could call you James the Red-Nosed Engine." Everyone laughed, even James. But instead, they decided to call James the Bee's Knees, which means they thought he was more useful than ever.
Okay, so total goofs here. I'm gonna pause this, get rid of that. Anyway, so total goofs there was about maybe 5, 6, but it's not that important to know. I mean, this one was like they knew what they were doing because it took them a while to get the CGI right for the bees and the red nose and stuff like that. So yes, the red nose was CGI at its finest in the 1990s to the or the late 1980s to the early 1990s. Anyways, this is Thomas Phantom One saying don't forget to keep playing with them trains.